Having very good coffee this morning. Very good morning. Are you having a good morning? I hope you are. In Jesus' name, I hope you are. I'm going to do this video here. And anytime you talk about capital punishment or the execution of folks who have committed heinous crimes or murderous acts, capital punishment, it always brings, there's nothing good about any of it. And it always brings a controversy sometimes among the faith of Christians. I'm going to read this article. The leader of the Texas 7 prison break, the leader of that gang, has been put to death. They're in Huntsville, Texas. The leader of the fugitive gang known as the Texas 7 was executed yesterday, February 29, 2012, for killing a suburban Dallas police officer during a robbery 11 years ago after organizing and pulling off the Texas' biggest prison break in history. Now, George Rivera, 41, from El Paso, Texas, received lethal injection for gunning down Aubrey Hawkins, a 29-year-old Irvin, Texas police officer who interrupted the gang's holdup of a sporting goods store on Christmas Eve in the year of 2000. The 7 inmates had fled a South Texas prison about 2 weeks earlier. The gang was caught in Colorado about a month after the officer's death. One committed suicide rather than be arrested. Rivera and 5 others were given lengthy sentences, all of them had lengthy sentences, who bolted with him when they were returned to Texas, where they separately were convicted of capital murder and sentenced to die. So they've sentenced all of them, the other 6, all to death. Rivera became the second of that 6 of the group executed. Quote, Rivera said these words, "I do apologize for everything that happened, not because I'm here, but for closure in your hearts." Rivera said Wednesday evening in a statement intended for Hawkins' family, "I really do believe you deserve that." The slain officer's relatives were absent, but 4 officers who worked with him and the district attorney who prosecuted the case attended on the family's behalf. They stood in the death chamber, watching through a window just a few feet from Rivera's. The inmate thanked his friends who watched through another window and said he loved them. A Canadian woman whom Rivera recently married by proxy also looked on. "I'm grateful for everything in my life," Rivera said to my wife. "I'll be waiting for you." 10 minutes later, at 6:22 p.m. on February 29, 2012, he was pronounced dead. More than 24 police officers in uniforms. They stood quietly in a line outside the Huntsville prison during the execution, then walked in unison to stand behind the state criminal justice spokesman as he announced Rivera's death. Texas Parole Board voted 7-0 this week to reject the clemency petition for Rivera. There was no 11th hour appeal made to try to head off his execution. This is the second this year in the nation's most active death penalty state. I'm Pastor Paul Begley, and I'm reporting on this event.